It's Joshua Vergara from Android Authority. What's going on, everybody? And you guys asked for it, so here we are delivering. This is your drop test on the Sony Xperia Z2. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and get right into the drop test. I'm actually really fond of this phone, and it's going to hurt me a lot to do this drop test. I use this quite a bit, and it was my daily driver for a little while, so having to drop it, well, it makes me a little bit sad. But you know how it goes already. We're going to be dropping this phone onto its back, onto its side, on its face. And before I got into it, I wanted to show you the actual phone itself. This is a perfectly working phone. I have taken pretty good care of it since I first got it. Turning on the screen, you'll see that it comes on right there. I'll turn up the brightness so it looks a little bit better for you. And essentially, we're just going to just drop this phone. And here we go. This is the first test on the Sony Xperia Z2, dropping it onto its back. So here we go. So there you go. Aside from the flaps coming off, we really don't have much structural damage to the phone at all, if any. I really don't see anything here. There is one scuff right here from where it bounced, another one over here, and a little bit of a feel down here of just a small scratch, but really nothing that you can actually truly tell is actually there. Much like the Sony Xperia Z1 from last season, it looks like this phone is going to hold up pretty well, and it looks like it's still fully operational thus far. All right, so here comes the next test. We're gonna be dropping it right onto its bottom right here. And now the 4K recording on the phone is actually turned on this time because I forgot to do it last time. So here we go. All right, well, again, structurally, it looks like things still look pretty good. You'll see a little bit of a scuff right here on the bottom, right where it landed. And it did bounce around a little bit, so you got another scuff over here on the side. And it looks like everything still looks pretty nice. But there's one thing that did happen, and it happened to the screen. I have the camera on right now, so I can really illustrate for you. And it's down here on the bottom, as you can see already. We have some dead pixels right there. So it looks like, yeah, no matter what I do, there are going to be there. You can see the dark right there. It's still there. The screen is still very responsive, however. It's just that the smash that happened right here looks like it created these dead pixels over here. So you'll see they almost look purple in color there, as you can see. And yep, they're just a blemish that you're just going to be seeing there from now on. If I kind of press down there, everything still works just fine there, which is really nice. But yeah, those are the dead pixels there. Well, here comes the moment of truth. The final one, dropping it right onto its screen. I'll just turn on the camera of the Xperia Z2 so you can see that perspective. And it's recording, so let's go. All right, just a slight sidestep and coming up from right here, all right. Oof, nice flat drop. Oof, nice flat drop. Oof, nice flat drop. Oof, nice flat drop. Man, I gotta tell you, I'm really happy right now because aside from, again, the flaps popping out, you really don't have any structural damage whatsoever. This screen is still fully operational. Those dead pixels from the second test are still there, of course, but aside from that, everything seems to be hunky-dory when it comes to this Sony Xperia Z2. I'm going through the entire thing. Let me just feel over on the sides a little bit. Now, if you remember in my review, I did mention that there's a little bit of a lip that comes up from these silver frame that is around the sides, but yeah, it looks like it might have helped a little bit because it did fall pretty flat, but it looks like the impact was not felt by the brunt of the screen, and thus we don't have any cracks across the entire board. There's really nothing to complain about in terms of the aesthetic of the phone still, just a couple of scuffs and those dead pixels, and all in all, we still have a very attractive device. So as far as this drop test goes, the Sony Xperia Z2 has passed with flying colors. And so there you have it for this drop test on the Sony Xperia Z2. Unlike the Xperia Z1 of last season, this phone, despite still coming out looking very great out of the box, is also still very functional. It has pretty much everything that you could need out of it. Nothing is not working on the phone, and that is different from the Z1 of last year, which, even though it looked great after our drop test, it wasn't operational anymore. So the Z2 passes with flying colors. You only have the dead pixels on the bottom left, a couple of scuffs around the frame, but that's about it. This is still a phone that you could use on the daily and still have a great time with it. I think that is a plus, a huge win for the Sony Xperia Z2. So keep it tuned to Android Authority for all of the best coverage. Make sure to stay tuned for our coverage of the following flagships that are coming in the coming months. And also, if you haven't seen my review of the Xperia Z2, you really should, along with the future focus regarding the sound quality on this device. So keep it tuned here, drop us some likes on our videos, subscribe if you haven't already, and remember, Android Authority is your source for all things Android.